which is the political blame game that has in fact started over this, where Congress says will wait for details on China disengagement, blames Prime Minister for weakening India's position with statement in June 2020. Now, Congress General Secretary and Member of Parliament Jairam Ramesh has posted on social media and says that, and I quote, while we await fuller detail of the agreement reached between India and China, it is pertinent to recall that Parliament was not allowed an opportunity for a discussion on the border situation even once these past 4.5 years. Now, and can the nation even forget these remarks made by the Prime Minister on June 19, 2020, which weakens us immeasurably, unquote. So this is the remark that is in fact coming in from Jairam Ramesh at this point. And remember, opposition parties have always taken up this issue when it comes to the entire LAC situation between China and India, the standoff that we have been seeing, especially when we talk about leader of opposition. Rahul Gandhi has also raised this issue multiple times. Now, let me now go across to my colleague Pallavi Ghosh. Pallavi, like I was also pointing out earlier, that not the first time we have seen there has been series of attack that has always come from the Congress party towards the Prime Minister and also towards the government over their foreign policy, and especially when we talk about the standoff between India and China. But now that there is an agreement, patrolling agreement that has been reached between both the sides, even then the Congress party is not seem to be appreciative of it.
And it's also in the context of the Galwan skirmish which we saw between India and China, and since then the Congress party, but more specifically Rahul Gandhi, has often been accusing the Congress of the government and the Prime Minister of having a weak foreign policy and not really standing up to China. And that's the reason why on one hand some feel that one has to keep a channel of communication going with our adversaries even across the border. There are voices in the Congress party like Jairam Ramesh, which is an official one, like Rahul Gandhi, who will say that once again the Indian government has compromised. We've not able to stand up to Chinese, not ask for the accountability on the Galwan border, whatever has happened. And this, when the Prime Minister is already away to Russia, is on his way there for the BRICS summit, and commenting on foreign policies while the Prime Minister is on a foreign soil is an absolute diplomatic no-no. But the Congress, of course, wants to make this a high political issue against the government.
Pallavi, I request you to stay with us as we are getting another opposition leader who has in fact reacted to this big development. The AIMIM chief, Asaduddin Owaisi, has also launched fierce attack on BJP government. Now, Owaisi has posted on social media platform X, and I quote, "We await the details about the arrangement that has been agreed upon with China." The Foreign Secretary's language was cryptic. Let's hope that while restoring India patrolling rights, it doesn't allow the PLA access to areas it was not coming to earlier, unquote. Let me go back to Pallavi on this. Pallavi, another opposition leader who is saying that we need to get more details. And in fact, going back to what Jairam Ramesh also said, that the all-party meeting that was held on 2020, in that is the remark that is being stated as something that is going to weaken the foreign policy, is what Jairam Ramesh has said.
Well, not just the 2020 all-party meeting, even as recently as the all-party meeting just ahead of the last parliament session, the whole issue of Pakistan, China came up, and where the opposition parties, also led by Owaisi, Jairam Ramesh, KC Venugopal, all of them were present there. And they all made the point that the government is not showing any kind of clarity as far as the foreign policy vis-a-vis China is concerned. So China, there have been multiple notices, as we all know, which has been given by the opposition leaders, particularly the Congress party, because they feel that is one issue on which they can corner the Prime Minister and the government on. So all eyes are, of course, going to be on the BRICS summit, where we are expecting on the sideline a meeting taking place between the Prime Minister and his Chinese counterpart. Clearly the opposition party's line, and in this almost entire India bloc, and even those outside the bloc like Owaisi, seem to be speaking almost in one voice, or at least asking for accountability for the government as far as the Chinese issue is concerned.
Also, Pallavi, when we talk about the last parliament session or the parliament session even before that, we have seen a series of adjournment notice that has been put by the India bloc MPs saying that the standoff between India and China is something that needs to be discussed. But when now there is a positive outcome, there's a breakthrough that has happened, not a single one of them have in fact come out and appreciated the effort by the government.
Well, I guess that's what politics is also all about. See, as I said, I mean, there are voices who believe, and they're political experts, diplomatic experts, even within the Congress party, who feel that, if you really want to stand up to China, it also means that you need to open a line of communication. You have to have that communication with China to put forward our point of view. Unfortunately, at a time when the Prime Minister is away for a BRICS summit, and we are talking about meeting between him and the Chinese counterpart on the sidelines, will these kind of voices of dissent or a difference of opinion will really augur well as far as India's diplomacy is concerned? I suspect that in the upcoming winter session of Parliament, again, these issues are expected to come up, vis-a-vis China, then Canada, then America. The government has always made the point that we have offered a clarity on the floor of the House. The Defense Minister Rajnath Singh himself has done it on multiple occasions. But the government also says that these are sensitive issues. You cannot expect everything to be put on the table in Parliament during the adjournment motions, which is why they have usually been rejected. But there have been occasions and platforms like all-party meetings. Political parties' representatives can ask those questions, and we try and answer them, is what the government is saying.
Thank you, Pallavi, for putting all those things into perspective. We'll keep coming back to you as this is a developing story. And like the opposition leaders have also been saying that they will be awaiting a full detailed report as far as the India-China standoff and the agreement that now has been reached between the two countries. Now, moving on, there is